Hey everybody, Amy here with Acupuncture Business Coach. Let's talk about last minute cancellation policy. So the way we run ours here, I know a lot of people are feeling awkward about actually processing that late cancellation fee, but the way that we run ours here is we have a 50% fee if that patient is to no-show for their appointment or to cancel within less than 24 hours or reschedule within less than 24 hours. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, I didn't actually cancel. I just called to see if I could push it to tomorrow. Well, if you gave me 3 hours notice and you're trying to push it to tomorrow, that's still a last minute appointment change. And now we can't fill that slot oftentimes because that's only a few hours away. So we send our reminders via auto send with our schedule software. We have that send out reminders 48 hours in advance with the reminder for patients that not only do they have the appointment, but if they are needing to change their appointment time or day, they need to give us 24 hours notice, or we have that 50% late fee. We also hold credit cards on our schedule software specifically for this, because in the event that someone doesn't show up, we're able to charge them. Now, as far as enforcing the fee, one of the things that we like to tell people is that the fee goes to the provider. So in our business, we have 18 massage therapists and then myself and one other acupuncturist. So when anybody else, obviously being the business owner, that's my money that's coming towards me. But for anybody else, we pay them the commission that they would have received if that patient would have come in, regardless of whether that patient comes in or not. Our employees rely on their hourly plus their commission plus their tips. And obviously acupuncture is a little bit different than massage in the fact that most people are not tipping for acupuncture the way they are for massage, but point aside, most of our people are getting paid commission based on the number of treatments that they do. And so if we have a client who cancels last minute, now that therapist is not going to get that commission. So we charge that fee, and that fee goes directly towards paying that therapist for their commission for that appointment so that they don't miss out on that. They still, as a massage therapist, miss out on the opportunity to earn a tip because that client didn't actually come in. And the business, of course, misses out because we didn't get a full 100% pay patient in. We got the no-show fee that then went towards the client or the therapist, but we always explain that to clients. And if they give pushback, they give pushback. You can choose how often you want to enforce it. I would highly suggest, though, that you are very strict with the way that you enforce things. So like, for example, if we have a patient who wakes up, they feel like garbage, they've got a fever, or they tested positive for COVID or strep or whatever else is going on, that we definitely don't want them in the office. If they call same day and say, oh, I feel like garbage, I'm sick, I can't come in, most of the time we're not going to charge them. But if somebody calls and says, oh my gosh, I forgot about my appointment, I double booked myself, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm not gonna be able to make it, my babysitter canceled, whatever else the case may be, we usually charge. And to be honest with you, I know there's very much controversy around actually charging patients this no-show fee. Some people feel very icky about it, but I will say that when we used to be way more lenient with these cancellation fees, those patients that we waived it for were repeat offenders. It happened all the time. And that patient, not only did they take up a spot on your schedule for that day and then not show up, they now take up another spot another day because they are going to actually come in that day, hopefully. Sometimes people will then push it out again and push it out again. This is actually very common for new patients. So a lot of people will say, ooh, well, maybe I'll charge a follow-up client because we've already been established, but it really sends the wrong message when you charge a no-show fee for an initial appointment or a late cancellation fee for an initial appointment, someone who's never even met you before. But I will tell you from experience with practice, and I don't mean for this to sound heartless in any way, but from a business standpoint, that person took up a larger chunk of time on your schedule because they're an initial. It's going to take longer than a follow-up. And it's very frequent that those clients end up getting scared, let's say, because they are nervous about trying acupuncture. And so a lot of times they will push it off because they're nervous about trying acupuncture. And it's really their anxiety about trying it that causes them to last minute decide to push their appointment out. And so you'll have patients who do this over and over and over, and they're taking prime spots on your schedule. They're taking a larger chunk of time on your schedule because they're new, and they're just continuing to push it out. So if you have that late cancellation fee, it often will prevent that person from rescheduling. We have people constantly who will say, I can't make it today, I need to reschedule. And when we tell them that there's a fee for rescheduling or for canceling because of it being within 24 hours, they somehow magically end up making it to that appointment because they don't want to pay the fee. So it actually sometimes deters people from canceling, even if they're already in the process of canceling. And that just shows us that sometimes it's not that they actually can't make it. It's usually that they're just getting nervous, or they don't want to make it, or they double booked and they're hoping you're going to be the one who will not charge them because maybe the other person would also charge a no-show fee. So it is industry standard. It's also often that people will actually charge 100%. I've seen a lot of providers who will charge 100% fee of the service if that person doesn't show up, or that person cancels or reschedules kind of a last minute. So I would say if you're doing 50% and you're giving them 24 hours notice and you've sent them a reminder 48 hours in advance, then I would say you should be feeling pretty free to charge them. As I mentioned, there's a couple of caveats to this. Often we are not charging people if they wake up sick. And then also we're not charging people on like a crazy emergency thing where it's a regular of ours and she's coming in and her daughter just got into a car accident, and we know she's somebody who always comes in regularly, but now her daughter's been in an accident and she's got to go get to her daughter, and so she's not gonna be able to make it that morning. Things like that, use your judgment, and we don't charge for that kind of stuff. We also have a lot of patients who come in that are pregnant, and so if we have a patient who's booked a labor-inducing acupuncture appointment or a labor-inducing massage, and she ends up not showing up, usually we'll reach out and we'll wait to hear from her to see what the case may be. Often she's gone into labor, and so we of course don't ever charge because somebody missed their appointment because they didn't let us know that they needed to cancel when they were on their way to the hospital to have their baby. So it makes sense we're not at the top of their mind at that point. So again, I would suggest having a policy in place. I would suggest charging at least 50%. This is your time, this is your slot, and it's also another slot that another patient could have had. So in a way, you're also protecting other patients by making sure that your schedule is available for people who are going to show up to those appointments. And again, repeat offenders happen often. So I would highly recommend being able to have the policy, enforce the policy. This is also a lot easier to do if you have a front desk receptionist who doesn't have the power to make those decisions to waive it. It's a lot harder when you are the person who is the provider, the person checking out, the person answering the phone, and the person making the decision. So if you can have a receptionist, I would highly recommend doing that. There's another video that I have that covers a lot of reasons for why you probably can afford to hire a receptionist before you think you can afford to hire a receptionist. So you can check out that video as well. But if you don't have a late cancellation policy, highly recommend you get one and you start enforcing it.